So while I was researching on how to go about making your own magnetic silly putty, I came across this idea and I thought it was worth sharing. It's a castable rubber. So what you need is some ordinary builder's silicone, which is this stuff here. And you need the cheap stuff. There's actually two kinds. There's this cheap stuff that smells of vinegar, and then there's the more expensive kind that doesn't smell of vinegar. You want the cheap stuff, the stuff that smells of vinegar. Now, if you leave this stuff just sitting around doing nothing, it'll go hard. But it takes an absolute age, because as it dries it forms a skin. And the skin depth increases, and as the skin depth increases, the reaction slows down, so if it's too thick, it just would never dry. It dries because of contact of moisture in the air. And the idea was to add something that would speed up that drying process. And what they add is corn flour, or cornstarch, same stuff. Now you add the corn flour as a basic ratio, 50-50. So the same amount of this stuff, the same amount of corn flour. And that will give it a certain setting time. If you add less corn flour, it takes longer to set. If you add more, it sets more quickly. Obviously, if it sets more quickly, it's a bit more brittle. If it sets more slowly, it's a bit more fluid and a bit more elastic. So we add 50% corn flour, trying not to chuck it absolutely everywhere, which of course I have done. So add your 50% corn flour. I'm going to have to clean that up later. And then just stir it in. Now if you want different colours, you can add poster paint, food colour, anything you want to add really. I've used a white. This stuff's available in clear and black and brown, and that's about it really. So if you want to colour it, you could either use the clear stuff or the white and add artist's acrylics, food colour, poster paints, something like that. So you give it a good mix up, and it stiffens up into this stiffer paste. And it is very vinegary, I warn you of that. So I've mixed it up, and at this stage, like I say, it will stick to absolutely everything. But the joy of it is it's mouldable. So you can mould it into different shapes, you can put it on supports, and it really doesn't matter how thick you make it, it will set all the way through. It takes somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes to set, depending on how much cornstarch, corn flour you've put in there. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to set and clean up a bit. So as it's beginning to dry, it's beginning to get less sticky, but it's still quite kneadable as it happens, which is kind of cool. And I guess it'll get less and less sticky as time goes. It's really quite cool actually. A mouldable rubber. That actually got quite nice to work with as it got a little bit drier. If you want it drier, then like I say, add more corn flour, but it will shorten the setting time. So this is almost set now, so as I work it out, actually it's beginning to shrink back into its position. So what you could use this for is, so there you go, there's the stuff that I just made a big squodge of it. What you could use this for is making gaskets, pressing over reliefs to make moulds so you can cast them. You could make your own rubber parts with it, like rubber feet for something that you want maybe. Loads of things I can think of to do with this. People have been using it, oddly enough, to make shoes. They make the soles of their shoes out of it. Wonderful stuff, so I thought I'd share it. So again, it's really easy to make. It's just the silicone rubber, the vinegar smelling stuff, and corn flour. Then mix it up and do whatever you want with it, leave it to set. I just thought that was so cool.